Today we are starting with 7th chapter of Book 1 plus 2 CBSE NCERT. So let's start with the chapter Directing, and as the name suggests, it rings a bell that directing means something very important. Yes, it is one of the functions of management. After planning, organizing, staffing comes directing. What does directing means and what all elements it has, we'll just cover that up. So what is directing? In one word, like the movie director says, light, camera, action. Similarly, in an organization, whenever the manager says, light, camera, action, or whenever he comes into the organization and he says, good morning guys, I want to see you for a meeting, that means what? The action in the organization has started. He's there, he's going to start off with his orders, with all the things which he wants to tell you, and the direction has started. That is what he started guiding you, he started telling you, spilling in the beans that what is to be done in the organization, what is the chore of the day, and how you're going to get along with doing everything. So that is what directing means. Let's start with directing. I have a stick figure out here. This stick figure is out here. He's a director, or you can say he's the one who's not the director, he's the one who's directing people, is the right word. So he's going to direct people. He is the one who's going to say word action, and people get onto the action immediately. They start working on it. Like directing means, it means giving instruction and guiding people and doing work. So what is the first thing which you have to do? You have to instruct people, this is to be done, that is to be done, and guide people to do the work. So he's telling this, these people do that, do this. All these, when he's telling them, he's directing them, and that is what direction is all about. Like the when you go to your school, early in the morning, you go to the school and there is time, and then the bell goes and the teacher comes. Immediately, wherever you are, you get settled down in the class. Why? Because you know very soon teacher is going to direct you what is to be done, and that is she's going to instruct you and guide you how things are to be done. And if you don't do it in that, according to that particular way she wants you to do, then you are immediately reprimanded for that, or punished, or you're questioned for it. Similarly, the moment the manager comes to the organization, he utters a word, he tells you what is to be done, he instructs you, guides you, he is directing the whole thing. Similarly, when a movie, when a director instructs, guides the people who are there as a team, whether assistant director, cameraman, or anybody else, and the light, camera, action happens, people are supposed to work. Now, directing doesn't come all alone. It has got 4 elements: supervision, motivation, leadership, and communication. Starting with the first thing, directing, like I gave you a definition already. Directing, one word meaning is action, and it means giving instruction or guiding people. The first element comes is supervision. What do we mean by supervision? Supervision is out here. We divide the word super and vision. Super separately, vision separately. Super means over and above, vision means to see. It does not mean that you just climb the highest ladder, or you stand on a platform and then you look at people what they are doing. No, it doesn't mean that. Supervise means, or supervision means to oversee people, means that you are monitoring. You are monitoring means you are checking what people are doing. You are checking the progress of work of your subordinates, or you are guiding the subordinates how the work is to be done. So that is the first element. And who actually takes up this function? Like here, manager does the directing, supervision is done by the supervisor. Supervisor is a person who works at the lowermost level in the hierarchy of management. So he takes up the job of supervision. He oversees the people at work, the workers at work. These are the people who are working, and if he is a supervisor, then he is the one who will check them how they are going to do things, and he may direct them. He may be the manager, he can be the supervisor, he can also tell them, direct them, guide them what is to be done. So it is not mandatory that a director has to do the directing, or like director of the company. It is not mandatory. Director of the company has to do directing. Directing can be done by the supervisor also, where he is just telling them what is to be done. Why? Because he is guiding them and instructing them, and when he checks them, he is a pure supervisor, telling them, seeing them how they are working and how they are doing the complete job. Now, once that is being done, once he supervises them, supervision is over, next comes motivation. When he praises his people for the excellent work they are doing, when he actually stimulates them to perform better, or when he tells them to perform to the best of their ability, when he inspires them, what is he doing? He is motivating them. I have given you a direction out here where he is telling the subordinates, very good. What is he doing? He is motivating them. So what does motivation means? Motivation means to inspire. It's a process of stimulating people to action. Motivation, we don't break motivation into two things. It's simple one word, and it means inspire. It means to stimulate people to work towards the action. Now, once supervision and motivation is over, next we come to leadership. Again, here what we do is we break it into two. How we break it into two? There is a person called leader, there is a person called follower. Who is a leader? Leader is an individual possessing attributes of leadership. One who has quality of being a leader. And he is so capable that he influences the follower, and follower willingly follows him. So, follower is a person who follows a leader willingly. Why? Because in this complete process, in leadership is an activity of influencing people. The leader is influencing the follower, and follower is willingly following his leader. So that's what is called leadership. Now, in our topic, we have three types of leader which we are going to study. One is autocratic, the other is democratic, and third one is laissez-faire. So this is the third element of directing. He is a leader. Can you see his crown out here? So the one who actually is able to influence his people becomes a leader. He could have had some muscle power. I do not know how to draw muscle power. Okay, I can just tell you like this. He has that muscle power. So he is the one who is a leader. So leadership is all over with it. Next we come to communication. Now this gentleman is speaking. Can you see that he is speaking something? What is he saying? Do that, do this. Very good. When he is telling people what is to be done, when he is exchanging views and ideas, here we have views and here we have ideas between two or more people, when that kind of exchange is taking place, it is known as communication. Now, of course, when we do the definition, we can take this also as a definition, or otherwise we can say this is a proper process where there is a sender sends the communication, or sender sends the message to the receiver receives it in the same way the way sender is sending, and then provides a feedback. Like if I ask a question in my class and when my children respond to it, that is, my communication is clear to them. Why? Because what I am intending to tell them, they are able to understand. So that is what is known as communication, and is the fourth element of directing. So the next is exchange of views and ideas with sender, receiver, message, feedback. The process has proper how the path is and what kind of other things are there in this communication. We'll do that later on. There is no need right now. I'm just telling you about that element. So this much is enough. So sender, receiver, sender sends the message, receiver receives it in the same manner and provides the feedback that is followed the message. It's as simple as that. Nothing else about communication at this stage. So we've just finished with introduction of directing. Directing, one word meaning means what? Action. And then we have four elements: supervision, super and vision. Super means over and above, vision means to see. Second, motivation, to inspire. Leadership, there are two people, leader and follower. Leader, what does he do? He actually influences his follower, and follower, what does he do? He willingly follows the leader. Next we have communication. Communication is exchange of views and ideas between two or more people. Next we will be taking up is features of directing and importance of directing.